Health Boost with me and Sneha Mordani, who gets you all the latest, and this time with pollution bothering us all, Sneha.
That's right.
Whether in my family or studio, newsroom, each one of us are reporting these respiratory concerns. And I'm sure you've also, I'm sure, received a lot of queries.
Absolutely.
Let's talk today about solutions, shall we? Can we do something to protect ourselves? Sneha, do I have to wear a mask when I go out? What are doctors telling you? What kind of mask, like COVID pandemic, can it save us?
Well, not the regular mask, definitely,
Okay.
Pooja. So surgical masks and cloth masks that we were wearing during the pandemic anyway weren't good enough. And certainly not for PM 2.5, the particulate matter which is in the air and has increased over so many years. Very, very fine. So if you have a particulate matter for 2.5, which means that it's going to travel into your bloodstream, you can imagine how fine it's going to be. So what is going to help us keep that out? N95 masks and N99, high quality, high grade. Invest in a good quality N95 or N99 mask. So certainly don't waste your time, energy, effort, etc. Put yourself through discomfort by wearing a surgical or a cloth mask. However, I must say there are nauseous and there are gaseous toxins also in the air, which will not be kept out by these masks. So it's just going to be the fine particulate matter which can be kept out to an extent.
We can only try and do as much as possible.
That's right.
Now that's outdoor, Sneha. What if I'm indoor and we have bought these air purifiers? It is, of course, a class issue. Let's not forget, not everyone can even afford a proper air purifier. But now that I have, or if someone watching this right now wants to buy an air purifier, are there categories to that?
Well, certainly. There are some air purifiers which are highly recommended, like the ones, and I'm going to take our viewers to the list, one is the HEPA filter. It's advisable. It may be expensive, but buy if you can. Also, if you have a pet at home to keep out the hair, that is helpful. It's actually effective in cleaning pollen, allergens, mold and dust as well. So we all know that mold is also a contributing factor when it comes to discomfort in the respiratory passage. HEPA filters are high efficiency particulate air filters, and also filters that have air purifiers that have activated carbon filters. Antibacterial filters are also good enough. Doctors essentially say that ozone filters is something that we must not be using. But higher CADR ratings filters, you can check that up in your buying. Also, just to tell our viewers that when you're actually buying a filter, air purifier, you tell the dealer or the person who's selling you the product that this is the size of my room. It's important. You can't have a huge room like as big as this newsroom and one filter in the corner. It's not going to be effective. So it's important to get that.
So these are some of the categories that you must check out if you're planning to buy an air purifier, and try to buy one if you possibly can. Now, I was reading somewhere, Sneha, about these artificial rains or sort of the smog towers that also throw a lot of mist. What is this artificial rain phenomenon that's connecting us to this pollution problem?
Okay, so as far as the smog tower is concerned, it's got, like the one in Delhi is locked up. We know it's not working, 50-meter radius, so anyway ineffective. How can that work? But as far as artificial rains is concerned, different countries use it for different reasons, but India plans to do it, and that is again a suggestion that has been made by IIT Kanpur, that we will have artificial rains to settle the pollutions and the dust down. Again, it's a band-aid solution, and unfortunately we only seem to be having band-aid solutions and nothing else.
That's actually true. Now there is a mist throwing vehicles that we see around.
Sprinklers.
Now there is an announcement as a temporary emergency measure that the Delhi government has announced, which is odd and even formula that will be implemented from 13th to 20th November. Is vehicular pollution really a big concern? Can this odd even really stop the kind of emergence of pollution?
Okay, so I said this and I drew this analogy earlier as well. So if a person's met with an accident, your immediate concern is to stop the bleeding of the person and take the patient to the hospital, right? We will not worry about the long-term health of that person. Odd even is just that. Because we are dying, and let's not mince any words, the government has decided to come up with odd and even to bring down the vehicular pollution in Delhi, because that's a huge factor in Delhi, like it is in many other urban centers. In Delhi, all the more because it's a city with high density of cars, and that's the reason why this will help us in our current situation to some extent, but it isn't a long-term solution.
And as the viewer must have heard, I also have an aggravated cough because of this pollution. Most of us are reporting those issues. Does that mean if car pollution is a problem, odd even has been implemented, should I go for carpooling? I mean, does that reduction of cars, does it really impact Sneha?
Yes, it does.
It does?
Yes, not just now. I think we all need to look for alternatives to how does one bring one vehicle one's vehicle to office or just one vehicle. I mean, plan this out, Pooja. Like, for example, in our office, so many of us live in Noida. Can we look at this option?
Okay.
Do we have the incentives, first of all, to look at this option? So, the center has told the court that essentially work from home isn't going to be allowed, but carpooling is going to be encouraged. How are you encouraging it? We all know that humans work and behave in such a way where incentivized, they seem to be working more effectively. It's very normal, regular human behavior, human nature. Is the government going to make an effort to ensure that carpooling is incentivized? Like, if I'm not bringing my car today, what do I save? I ensure that there is less pollution. I ensure there is less intake of fuel. I also ensure that there is less traffic on the roads. The number of accidents also come down if you carpool. So I definitely think that we must really, as a matter of practice all throughout the year, look at carpooling as a solution. It really is doable, but we have to coordinate.
And like we were discussing, Sneha, I think you also have some data of how car pollution or carpooling with regard to pollution can actually make a difference. Do you want to tell us more about
Yes,
it
absolutely.
and what exactly is the difference possible?
Yes, essentially. So what carpooling does is this, and you should look at this very carefully, viewers. It cuts the emission by half. So if vehicular pollution is a cause of concern in a city like Delhi and many other major cities as well, then it's going to cut down your vehicular pollution. Also, like I said, it reduces the congestion on the streets. It's going to be easy when you drive around. It won't be that stressful. It won't be that difficult. Reduces the vehicle miles traveled. Essentially, your vehicle is going to have a longer life as opposed to just picking your car up and going everywhere that you want to. Also, there is research to support the fact that when you club your work together and use your vehicle, it is more cost effective, it is more fuel effective. So that is something that we must all be doing. Undoubtedly, Pooja, reduces greenhouse emissions.
We can always try, but the tragic part is, Sneha, isn't it? Netas continue to fight.
Yes.
They are putting out poster wars rather than putting out policies on the same negotiating
All
table.
effective and long-term solutions.
At least good enough emergency measures too. I don't think it's enough right now, but nevertheless,
Yes.
it's still needed. Thank you so much.